Now on CoastTV News.
Lewis gun scare.
But it seems like there are more and more scarier incidents occurring in our surrounding towns.
How a tense day that started at the beach and spread to the city ended with the arrest of a Maryland man.
Vacant to vital, what is now needed for the old Lewis Army Reserve Center to become a new municipal facility.
It's a mild, muggy start to our Wednesday with some patchy fog, tracking more summer-like warmth and the threat of some severe storms. We'll time out the storms next.
Fastest growing city. More people are moving to Milford, what officials near the banks of the Mispillion are factoring in for future plans.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And welcome to our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. It is Wednesday, September 24th, 2025.
And even though it is muggy, and we've commented on that a lot this morning, yes. If you're looking at outdoor activities this afternoon, at least it won't be raining. I think it'll be another day to go to the pool. I know where I live, that pool is closing very soon. I know, a lot of them are already closed.
I know, yes, no, not mine. People are still soaking in the summertime. That's not the summer, but it feels like the summer, Chris. We're all just very confused. I know.
I know a lot of people are. Yeah, keep the pools open maybe till late September, I think, right? A good Wednesday morning, Delmarva, as we take a live look into Cambridge. We got the seagulls flying by there. Fog, really not an issue there along the dock, but we are seeing some patchy fog in and across most of the interior portion of the peninsula. 68 degrees there in Cambridge. Nothing widespread. You can see some dense fog north of Dover, up towards the I-95 corridor there, but it's mild and muggy out there at the start. We're at 66 in Milford, 72 Bethany Beach, 73 in Ocean City. You can see that wind flow out of the south-southwest, and that's going to continue to funnel in that humidity throughout the day today. Plenty of showers and storms back across the Ohio and Tennessee River valleys. This cold front stalled out kind of there over the Indiana and Illinois area. That is eventually going to impact us not until late tomorrow. So we have another summer-like day ahead of us, some patchy fog this morning, and then watching the threat of some potential severe storms as we go into late tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow evening. So again, stepping outside this morning, a mild start. We're at 65 degrees with some patchy fog. Partly cloudy skies through the afternoon today with highs reaching the low to mid 80s. We'll track the storms on Futurecast and have a look at that weekend ahead coming up a little bit later on. Matt.
All right, thank you, Chris. And our top story this hour is the update about what we've been telling you about starting on Tuesday.
Lewis police say 30-year-old Alexander Gard of Maryland is facing 11 gun and ammunition charges.
Yeah, that's after police say his truck was found stuck on the beach Tuesday morning, and then, get this, inside were guns, other weapons, and hundreds of rounds of ammo. Police say Gard is homeless, and he had reported his truck was stolen.
It's still not clear if Gard drove the truck on the beach or if it was in fact stolen. The whole situation, though, led to a lot of panic for people.
It definitely doesn't normally happen in our area, but it seems like there are more and more scarier incidents occurring in our surrounding towns.
You just don't know. No matter where you're at, you always have to have your head on a swivel and be very alert.
Cape Henlopen School District, Beebe Hospital, and the University of Delaware, they were alerted of the situation, and the school district let parents know the schools were on a secure status out of an abundance of caution.
Happening today in Lewis, there could be action on a nearby community seeking annexation. That is according to the agenda for the Mayor and City Council workshop. Here's the area we are talking about. Recently, Hornkill Avenue Annexation Committee moved to recommend the annexation to the Lewis City Council. This is the effort by people living on Hornkill Avenue to become a part of city limits. This will start at 18 Hornkill Avenue and move southwest.
Also expected at that workshop, an update on the Army Reserve Center on Savannah Road. It's a building that's sat vacant for years, and the plan is for the building to become a new municipal campus for the city, the police, and the Board of Public Works. The city has completed phase 1 of an environmental study, and now they want to go after grant 2, which is money for the phase, and to ensure the building is safe and clean before entering the design phase. And some people living in Lewis that we spoke with say this is a positive for the city.
It is a rare jewel. It's 5 acres of land, so that they are able to bring a lot of their community, like police and their business offices, into this facility. And also, it's close to the schools here too. So if they had any emergencies or anything like that, they'd be able to easily react to it.
And the city says the arrangement with the Army states the building has to be a municipal campus. And what that means is this: it cannot be used for affordable housing or anything else.
Tidal Health is announcing a major recognition for its cancer care program. The organization says the American College of Surgeons Commission on Cancer has awarded accreditation to Tidal Health's Richard A. Henson Cancer Institute in Salisbury, the Ocean Pines campus in Berlin, and the Allen Cancer Center at Tidal Health Nanticoke in Seaford. According to Tidal Health, the accreditation lasts 3 years.
Milford City Council is looking at ways to manage the increase of its population, and that includes a review of this presentation. One of the reasons why this is key is that according to the U.S. Census Bureau, Milford is the fastest growing city or town in Delaware this decade. Over the last 10 years, Milford has annexed 66 acres. It's created nearly 10 square miles in area. According to the planning department, if growth occurs at 200 new units per year, it would take 17 years to build out approved projects. They're expected to review all this tonight, but that meeting is now listed as canceled on Milford's website. New overnight, almost 1 week after he was suspended, Jimmy Kimmel's now back on his ABC late night show. Parent company Disney pulled the host off the air after he made comments about the suspect who shot and killed Charlie Kirk.
It prompted reaction from the FCC chair, while critics said the government was stifling free speech. As NBC's Alice Barr shows us, though he's back on air, not all of the country can see the show.
From Hollywood, it's Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Overnight, the return of ABC's late-night host Jimmy Kimmel, who quickly addressed his comments about the Republican response to Charlie Kirk's murder that had him pulled off the air.
You understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual.
Right before the show, President Trump slammed Kimmel and said ABC told the White House the show was canceled, something never publicly stated. Without evidence, he accused Kimmel of being an arm of the Democratic National Committee and alluded to another potential lawsuit against ABC. Writing, quote, "Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative." Kimmel referenced the free speech firestorm his suspension touched off.
A government threat to silence a comedian the president doesn't like is anti-American.
Thanking those across the political spectrum who spoke out after the FCC chairman suggested there could be action against ABC stations that kept running the Kimmel show following his Kirk comments.
He threatens it. He says, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. Yeah. And I got to say, that's right out of Goodfellas.
Kimmel's show is not airing everywhere, with station group owners Nexstar and Sinclair choosing to preempt the program in dozens of ABC stations they own across the country. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Northwest Arkansas is dealing with more rain and flooding on Tuesday. Portions of the area are under enhanced severe risk. In addition, a significant number of trees, power lines, and poles are down. Rain over the weekend has left the ground saturated in many parts of that state.
Now, Salisbury is officially welcoming a new city administrator. They say Nick Rice, who you see on your screen, is taking over the role. Mayor Randy Taylor says Rice stood out during the hiring process, bringing more than a decade of government experience. According to the mayor's office, Rice has served in Ocean City, then as Wycomico County's purchasing agent, and as Worcester County's procurement officer. He has also earned his MBA from Salisbury University. And for more information on Rice's career background and life outside of work, you can head to the article on CoastTVnews.com.
Heads up for drivers in Salisbury. The city's Department of Infrastructure and Development says contractors will conduct cleaning, inspecting, and smoke testing of sewer lines on Saturday, September 27th. Smoke testing will take place on the East and West Market Streets, Poplar Hill Avenue, Baptist Street, and part of Culvert Street. The city says crews will also clean sewer lines and inspect CCTV systems on Baptist Street and Camden Street. And we're just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News today.
Yeah, coming up, fight for new fishing pier, the dilemma facing Cambridge in its efforts to build a new one on the Choptank River.
Also, progress on crab pot removal. We'll tell you the high-tech way crews are finding abandoned crab pots. for removal and how you can participate.
And Hulu price hike. When to expect your subscription to cost more. Coast TV News Today continues right after this.
A good Wednesday morning, Delmarva, as we take a live look into Ocean View, waiting for that sun to rise. 6:51 this morning. We're at 71 degrees there, so a bit milder at the coast. Fog, not all that widespread. Could see some patchy fog inland portions of Delmarva. You could see a bit more dense the further north you go as you make your way into Newcastle County. Temperatures across the area, we're at 72, Bethany Beach 73, Ocean City 66 there in Georgetown. No rain to speak of across the mid-Atlantic. You have to go all the way back to Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, down through Kentucky, and this is the front stationed across St. Louis and Chicago that's going to be impacting us come tomorrow, late tomorrow. Well, going to feel like summer over the next 2 days. Average high 77, and we'll be around that average high over the weekend as we see cooler temperatures and a bit more cloud cover. You can get your forecast anytime by dialing the First Alert weather phone. Coming up, we will talk about that yellow alert in play tomorrow for the threat of some isolated severe storms. I'll break it down in my latest forecast here in a little bit. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. The Millsboro Police Department is reminding all contractors do not tap into the town's water supply for commercial use. The department says this action is illegal and creates serious safety risks to the community. If an operation requires a large amount of water, police say to contact the Millsboro Town Hall for the proper guidance on how to obtain it safely and legally.
The Delaware Department of Education says it's growing its teacher workforce through the new paraprofessional registered occupational program. Here's what this is. It's a pilot program that aims to train paraprofessionals to become teachers and offer a 2-year path for participants to earn education credits. The department launched the pilot this fall in Appoquinimink and Seaford districts. They have plans to expand statewide next year.
Disney is raising the prices on the majority of its streaming service plans in the United States. That includes most Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Select plans. Most plans are increasing by $1 to $3. This is the third time in 3 years that Disney has raised streaming service prices in the U.S. The new prices are effective October 21st.
And we learned earlier this could be an issue in Chris's household. Halloween is fast approaching, and Starbucks is getting into the spirit with a new line of spooky glow-in-the-dark drinkware. 5 limited edition cups and tumblers feature glow-in-the-dark finishes and 3D textures. They come in black, purple, and white. They range in price from $15. Chris, also, it could go as high as $30, but prices and availability may vary based on locations.
I actually got one on sale. Don't tell my girlfriend that, but I got her about 2 of them. She got all the pink ones all over the apartment. Now she uses them pretty good. And you're going to get the extra large coffee today. We're going to still feel like summer, warm and humid, 86 degrees. And we're going to continue the summer-like feel tomorrow, but we're going to throw in a threat of severe storms. We'll talk more about that coming up in that full forecast right after the break.
Time is 6:17, and we're getting a live look. There's a little bit of a breeze there on the right side of your screen in Ocean View. And First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono is back with us on an already muggy morning, Chris.
Yeah, you can feel it stepping outside the door this morning. Seeing some patchy fog across the area, nothing all that widespread. You can see it's a bit more dense the further north you go, north of Dover. But again, could see some low clouds this morning stepping outside the door at least through about 7, 8 o'clock. Otherwise, it's pretty mild out there this morning. 69 in Milton. We're in the lower 70s along the coast. 71 Rehoboth, 73 in Ocean City, and we're at 69 there in Laurel. You can see dew points, though, have creeped up into that muggy level. We're in the upper 60s to lower 70s, and unfortunately we're going to stay in that level at least for the next 2 days as we see those dew points in the lower to mid 70s, and then we'll see a bit of a drop off there as we go into the start of the weekend. We're tracking this cold front stalled out across the portions of the Midwest and Ohio Valley. That area is going to be beginning to push eastward as we go into the day today and eventually impacting us primarily tomorrow night. I think that's when the bulk of the action comes in, and then that could linger into Friday morning. Now, as we take a look at our forecast for today, beginning in the 60s, partly cloudy skies through the afternoon with highs generally in the lower to mid 80s. Now, we can't rule out an isolated shower late tonight. Western portion of the peninsula, I think most of the area is dry. In fact, some of us may not even dip below 70 overnight tonight, waking up to some patchy fog, low clouds, and then temperatures surge tomorrow afternoon. There you see the wind flow out of the south. Tomorrow we could see some gusts upwards of 20, 30 miles an hour ahead of the front. Now, the Storm Prediction Center maintaining that marginal risk. Could see damaging winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. Slight chance of some flash flooding as we get into Thursday night. So there's the temperature surging ahead of the front, mid to upper 80s. And it's not until after about dinner time. The models have been slowing this moisture down a bit as we go into 9 o'clock tomorrow. You could see some heavy rain pushing across the area. That is our window for a potential severe storm. And then we see still some rain continuing along the coast into early Friday morning. And then we could see a few showers linger into early Friday afternoon before we clear out. Then as we go into the tail end of the weekend, watching the coast, there's going to be some disturbances to our south that may be impacting us. The National Hurricane Center keeping a close eye on these two areas. Likely will be our next two named storms as we go into early part of next week. 86 today under sun and clouds, a humid day. Can't rule out an isolated shower. Otherwise, we're muggy with patchy fog. 86 for our Thursday with the storms coming in late in the day. Most of the day is dry. We have that yellow alert in play for the severe threat. Could see a few morning showers Friday. Otherwise, we clear out by Friday afternoon. And we are looking at more clouds than sun over the weekend with highs in the upper 70s. Elisa.
Chris, Delaware's Advisory Council on Wildlife and Freshwater Fish is meeting next week to cover several key issues. According to the agenda, locals can expect information on the state's tick program, a recap of the Atlantic Flyway Council's summer meeting, and updates on proposed changes to Denrick's administrative code. Denrick says that hybrid meeting is set for Tuesday, September 30th at 7 p.m. People can join online or in person at Little Creek Hunter Education Training Center in Dover.
Continuing today, University of Delaware and Delaware Sea Grant, they are hosting their crab pot removal and volunteer training event. This is designed to ultimately make crabbing easier and help marine life. Finding these crab pots, it's a little bit more complicated than you might expect. Crews use side scan sonar to find abandoned pots. They fish them out of the water and haul them in for cleaning. And we actually spoke with some UD grad students who were volunteering their time.
I think that's the nice part, is also seeing the actual work that you're doing, because a lot of times we're either mapping on software on our computers all day, and now we actually get to see the result of our hard work.
Crews told CoastTV that they try to do an event like this once a year, and just in the last month when they surveyed the Indian River area, they found over 450 pots in that area. And people are looking to participate today. They can head to Warwick Park in Millsboro from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Up next on CoastTV, Fight for New Fishing Pier will tell you why Cambridge officials are working to save an old structure, even though it's slated for demolition. We'll be right back. A new fishing pier is needed in Dorchester County, but it will be up to the state of Maryland to make it happen. Local leaders would like to replace the Bill Burton Fishing Pier. It's been closed down since 2022 for safety reasons. It's now set to be demolished by the state, but officials say the pier was and still could be an asset to the local economy. This week, they sent a letter to Maryland's Department of Natural Resources asking them to come out to Cambridge and build a brand new one. Locals familiar with the area hope it happens.
I think it would definitely bring a lot more attraction to this sailwind park. As you see, like, this is a great day. When the weather is beautiful, this is a great day to come out, to just sit. A lot of people bring their children out here. It creates a space for people to go walking, bring fishing out here.
And DNR was not able to provide us with a timeline for demolition or construction of a new pier, but the agency says it is fully committed to the project and will move forward when funds become available.
Also in Cambridge, the city is warning people about expected traffic delays. According to a Facebook post, street work is taking place in this area that we're showing you right now. The city says it's on High Street near Long Wharf Park. It's scheduled for next Monday and Tuesday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Well, it's another warm, muggy day. Matt's favorite type of weather, Mother Nature you must have been nice to her this year.
Look, local summer.
She's extending
milking it for
you.
all it's worth. You know, Chris, you might be thinking, let's go to the beach today, maybe go in the water, but you are also tracking a risk of rip currents along the coast.
Yeah, we've had this pesky high risk of rip currents over the last few days, and that's all thanks to Hurricane Gabrielle, hundreds and hundreds of miles out in the Atlantic, and that's was a powerful storm. Went into a Category 4 there yesterday. Lowest Pretty quiet start to the day there. Temperature 69. It's a muggy start, to say the least. Temperatures rising, though, into the upper 70s to lower 80s through Ocean City and Fenwick Island, with a mix of sun and clouds throughout your day today. Lewis, we're looking at highs generally in the lower 80s through Rehoboth Beach, again with partly sunny skies there. And then could see a late shower. I think this is overdone, but we'll see temperatures generally in the lower 80s through Cambridge and Crisfield. Could see an isolated shower way west of the area late tonight. Ina Apolito of Lewis, Delaware, you're the winner of our Coast TV News weather umbrella. We will talk about a threat of severe storms tomorrow afternoon into the evening, coming up in the next half hour. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. And after the break on Coast TV News today, support for better internet service will tell you how Maryland Governor Wes Moore is supporting a new project to improve service on Smith Island.
Also, Milford to manage growth, the data the city is reviewing that could give insight on how to address the need for housing.
And truck discovery development, we have new information in the case of the abandoned truck found in Lewis with several guns and rounds of ammo inside. Coast TV News today will be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
Truckload trouble. The scary situation in Lewis that affected schools and hospitals and ultimately led to the arrest of a Maryland man.
Late night return, Jimmy Kimmel returns to his show how he addressed the controversy that led to his suspension.
It's a mild, muggy start to our Wednesday with some patchy fog, tracking more summer-like warmth and the threat of some severe storms. We'll time out the storms next.
Milford expansion examined the rate of growth this decade and what concerns city officials.
This is Coast TV News Today.
September 24th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
It is 6:30 a.m. It's Wednesday. Perhaps a little early to start talking about the weekend.
Well, you've been talking about this specific weekend for a long time.
I have.
So you've got a pretty intense matchup in college football.
Yes, Penn State, Oregon, Saturday on Coast TV, by the way. And also, I'm sure Friday when you do the DSN lineup, you'll be talking about Nittany Game Week.
Yes, I'm going to watch it. No. We're not going to stop talking about Penn State and bring in Chris, first alert meteorologist, Chris Mastrobono. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Elisa and Matt. Yeah, big sports weekend coming up for all of us. And I'll tell you what, it's been a muggy start to the day here on Delmarva. You can see the high cirrus clouds there in the distance, sun rising here. About 6:51 this morning. We're at 70 degrees there in Laurel. Fog hasn't been a major issue this morning. Some isolated pockets, but you can see it's a bit more dense the further north you go, north of Dover into Kent and Newcastle County. Temperatures right now are holding at 72 in Indian River Inlet, 69 there in Milton, 65 Bridgeville to 70 in Laurel. Continuing to see wind flow out of the southwest, and that is funneling in even higher humidity today through tomorrow. Scattered showers and storms back off to the west with our front. Still off portions of St. Louis and Chicago. That's eventually going to impact us come tomorrow afternoon. We'll see partly sunny skies through the afternoon with temperatures rising into the low to mid 80s. Can't rule out an isolated shower or storm late in the day, early evening time frame, especially western portions of the peninsula. But the warmth, the humidity continues. We have a yellow alert in play for Thursday for that threat of some severe storms through Thursday evening. Damaging winds will be the primary threat. And we are looking at the hang on with the cloud cover over the weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on the full forecast. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. Our top story this half hour is an update to what we first told you about on Tuesday.
Yeah, Lewis police say 30-year-old Alexander Gard of Maryland is facing 11 gun and ammunition charges.
That's after police say his truck was found stuck on the beach Tuesday morning. And listen to this. Inside were guns, other weapons, and hundreds of rounds of ammo. Police say Gard is homeless and had reported his truck stolen.
It's not clear if Gard drove that truck on the beach or if it was, in fact, stolen. We have more news out of Lewis. The Mariners Retreat subdivision is moving closer to approval. According to the Board of Public Works, they could approve recent utility improvements at their Wednesday meeting. A letter from engineering firm GMB says all infrastructure at the development, including utilities, streets, sidewalks, and transportation improvements, has been inspected, tested, and approved. This and other topics are up for discussion at 4 p.m.
Also happening today in Lewis, the mayor and city council are expected to discuss an update on the Army Reserve Center at their workshop this morning. It's a building on Savannah Road that's sat vacant for years. This plan is for the building to become a new municipal campus for the city, police, and Board of Public Works. The city has completed phase 1 of an environmental study. Now they want to go after grant money for phase 2 to ensure the building is safe and clean before entering the design phase.
Milford City Council is looking at ways to manage the increase to its population, and one of the reasons why this is key is that according to the U.S. Census Bureau, Milford is the fastest growing city or town in Delaware this decade. Over the last 10 years, Milford has annexed 66 acres, creating nearly 10 square miles in area, and according to the planning department, its growth occurs. If that occurs at 200 new units per year, it would then take 17 years to build out approved projects. Now, there was a meeting on this scheduled for tonight, but Milford's website is now listing that as canceled.
Boosting internet service on Smith Island, Maryland Governor Wes Moore is making a visit today as Verizon launches high-speed internet in the area. Governor Moore, state and local leaders are expected to start the day at Community Hall before touring new broadband towers. Governor Moore will then head to the 48th annual Toss Crab and Clam Bake in Crisfield. New this morning, Jimmy Kimmel has his show back, and he's using his return last night to defend free speech. That episode marks the end of his suspension.
But as Amy Kiley shows us, it might be the beginning of a larger clash between ABC and the Trump administration.
Anyway, as I was saying before I was interrupted,
Jimmy Kimmel Live is back after a nearly week-long suspension. Disney says it objected to the host's comments after Charlie Kirk's murder. Kimmel addresses that in his return monologue.
I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever.
Kimmel's also defending free speech with humor.
The guy in Germany offered me a job. Can you imagine? This country has become so authoritarian, the Germans are like, come here.
Some repeat audience members say this taping felt different.
There was a gravity, but also happiness of just being back.
Disney says it lifted the suspension after, quote, thoughtful conversations with Jimmy. Critics claim it originally caved to President Donald Trump. He says Kimmel's return on ABC, quote, puts the network in jeopardy. He adds, quote, we're going to test ABC out on this. Sinclair and Nexstar Media are continuing to preempt the show on their stations. The FCC chair applauds them for what he calls standing up to a national programmer. The preemptions are a financial hit for Disney. Some analysts say a boycott from Kimmel fans would have been worse.
Money was the impetus for the first decision and pulling Jimmy Kimmel off the air, and money is the impetus for returning him.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Happening today, Humane Animal Partners in Rehoboth Beach is offering express and low-cost vet clinics Wednesday this fall. HAP says the clinics will have vaccines, microchipping, heartworm, flea prevention, and more, all starting as low as $25. The organization says you must make an appointment by calling. And to learn more about services that will be provided and the prices, you can head to our article on CoastTV.com.
Tidal Health is announcing a big recognition for its cancer care program. The organization says the American College of Surgeons Commissions on Cancer has awarded accreditation to Tidal Health's Richard A. Henson Cancer Institute in Salisbury, the Ocean Pines campus in Berlin, and the Allen Cancer Center at Tidal Health Nanticoke in Seaford. According to Tidal Health, the accreditation lasts 3 years.
Salisbury is officially welcoming a new city administrator. They say Nick Rice is taking over that role. Mayor Randy Taylor says Rice stood out during the hiring process, bringing more than a decade of government experience. According to the mayor's office, Rice has served in Ocean City, then as Wycomico County's purchasing agent and as Worcester County's procurement officer.
Kent Mystic plans to reopen in Texas next summer. It's near the site where 27 girls and counselors died in a flood earlier this year. Fast rising floodwaters of the Guadalupe River inundated the girls' summer camp and swept the campers and counselors to their deaths. The camp also announced that it will build a memorial to the girls who died in the flooding. And we have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, Little Creek speeding conflict will tell you why the mayor says a solution from DelDOT may not be enough.
Also kicking it into high gear, some soccer goals that you'll have to see to actually believe.
In Wycomico Way's possible new park, we'll tell you how a potential new state park would make history in the county. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
We salute Brian Comlow for a lifetime of service and dedication. He proudly served 8 years in the U.S. Navy, followed by a distinguished 30-year career as a Delaware police officer. Helping others has always been at the heart of who he is, and his commitment to protecting and serving both his country and community is truly commendable.
Spicer Brothers and Coast TV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a Coast TV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
Well, I hope your Wednesday morning is off to a fantastic start as we take a live look into Lewis. 69 degrees there. Winds are pretty calm, but it is muggy out there. Fog hasn't been a big of an issue here through most of Delmarva. A bit more dense the further north you go. So if you're heading north of Dover, you will encounter some pretty dense fog. There's some dense fog advisories up along the I-95 corridor. You can see we're at 72 Indian River Inlet, 69 Dagsboro to 70 in Laurel. We have a weak trough back off to the west that could produce an isolated shower late today into the evening, but the primary front is back off to the west, and that's going to be impacting us late Thursday into Friday. So another warm summer-like day, low to mid 80s, and we're going to continue that warmth into at least Thursday, and then that front is going to produce the threat of some isolated severe storms as we go into Thursday evening. We have a yellow alert in place. We'll talk more about that coming up here in a little bit. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. The Wycomico County Council is in talks with the community involving the state's acquisition of Weetipquin Creek land, which could be turned into a state park. Back in February, the state of Maryland approved acquisition of the 446 acres. While some locals are in favor of turning this historical site into a state park, others are worried about safety and privacy. Local Susan Bowman says she thinks the area should not be turned into a state park.
If you have a lot of people on the property over there, you're not going to have the deer, you're not going to have the raccoons, you're not going to have wildlife. Even though that's what the whole idea of the state park was, that you'd be able to enjoy wildlife. Well, you're not going to enjoy it after you scare it off. So.
If the land is turned into a state park, it would be the first one in Wycomico County.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good morning, sports fans. We had a ton of footy on the peninsula on Tuesday. We're going to start things off in Millsboro, Delaware for an exciting Henlopen matchup. Indian River here is going to open it up trying to score, and it's Pablo Arias who's taking this header, but it's saved by Jacob Panico. Remember that name. Later on in the first half, Nathaniel Mahaffey. He's going to have an angle at goal, but it's saved again by Panico. Score stays tied at 0-0 in the first half. Now, Mahaffey is going to be alone on the breakaway. He's going to try to slide it past Panico. Can't quite do it. Shot sails wide. 0-0 at the end of 40 minutes. But then, just 20 seconds into the second half, Austin Tyndall, look at him thread the needle for this awesome goal. It's 1-0 Cape. But then, not even 2 minutes later, Carter Malnarazi, he's got a free kick, and he's going to take advantage. It's another goal for the Cape, and the Vikings, they lead it 2-0 over IR. But now this is by far the goal of the day. Panico from midfield. It goes in off the keeper. I don't care what you say. That is the best goal I've seen in a while. It's a 3-0 lead for Cape Henlopen. But IR, they're not going to lead this game scoreless. Here's a nice goal from long distance from Jose De La Cruz. But Cape Henlopen would go on to win the match 3-1 over Indian River. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day, everyone.
And coming up on DSN at 4, we have live NCAA women's soccer when Salisbury University hosts York. Then at 10:30, it is the final score. Along with that soccer match, here's what you can watch on DSN Plus. At 4, Bayside Conference boys soccer when Mardella travels to Crisfield. And it's Christiana at Odessa in field hockey. At 5, we have high school girls volleyball when North Dorchester plays at Queen Anne's. And at 6, Indian River is at Caesar Rodney. That is for a matchup in unified football.
And fall isn't just for football, it's for marching band too. The Delmarva Sports Network will cover 6 marching band competitions featuring over a dozen schools from across the peninsula. These competitions will stream exclusively on DSN+. The next one is scheduled for Saturday, September 27th.
Week 4 of the NFL regular season, and we have Sunday Night Football right here on Coast TV. Green Bay Packers facing the Dallas Cowboys. Coverage begins at 7, and then stay right here for Coast TV News following the game. And we are once again gearing up for the Bless Our Children campaign. Every year, Draper Media works to make the holiday season brighter for children on Delmarva. The money raised goes to charitable groups who then buy Christmas presents. And right now, we are accepting funding applications from those nonprofits through October 1st. And you can find a link to all this at blessourchildren.org.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday. And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Hope you're having a good day so far here along coastal Delmarva. But if you join us today at 4 on Coast Life, here's what's in store for you. Ladies, did you know today is National Women's Health and Fitness Day? We've got some folks that might be able to provide some health and fitness tips for you. Also, we're going to be chatting with our friends at State Farm. This time of year, you might be seeing an uptick in deer out there, other wildlife and critters. We're going to be talking about how to stay safe on the roadways. All of that and more is happening today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you there.
We're going to continue that summer-like feel not only for today, but in our Thursday, cooling off over the weekend. We're also tracking storm chances, some tonight, but a better chance tomorrow night. We'll track them coming up right after the break.
Time is now 6:48, and we are taking a live look outside at Lewis this morning, and we are seeing a beautiful view there in Lewis. That sun is about to come up, absolutely beautiful. I'm sure people will be taking a walk through the town of Lewis and also on the beaches today. Is another warm day.
Oh yeah, and feeling like summer, not like fall, I'll tell you that. Temperatures are going to be back in the low to mid 80s today. We've seen some low clouds, some patchy fog throughout portions of Delmarva. Most of that has been to our north along the I-95 corridor, but it's been quite mild this morning. Temperatures waking up this morning upper 60s to lower 70s. At the coast, dew points are on the rise as well. We're in the 60s and 70s, and so that is that muggy, humid level, and we're going to stay very humid here over the course of the next 2 days before we see a bit of a drop-off through the start of the weekend. So we're free of any precipitation at the moment. The nearest showers are back off through West Virginia and portions of western Pennsylvania. Here's the cold front that's going to be impacting us come late tomorrow. Now we could see an isolated shower or storm late this evening through the overnight. Better chance comes Thursday afternoon through Thursday evening into Friday morning with that cold front. Partly cloudy to partly sunny skies through the afternoon today. Highs in the low to mid 80s, and Futurecast shows we stay pretty dry. Again, I can't rule out that isolated shower, primarily western portions of the peninsula through the overnight, and then we'll see some patchy fog to start Thursday. Winds are going to continue out of the south-southwest over the course of the next few days. Could see some gusts as high as 30 miles an hour ahead of the front on Thursday. So the Storm Prediction Center has that marginal risk primarily for late afternoon into the evening. Damaging wind threat, gusts upwards of 60 miles an hour are going to be the primary threat. You see we surge into the 80s ahead of the front. Then by 8, 9 o'clock, you could see some strong storms pushing over the area. Downpours, some lightning possible here. Then as the front kind of stalls out over the area, we continue to see the showers and storms at least through the early part of Friday morning. So some downpours possible. We wake up early Friday morning. It's damp, dreary, few lingering showers, but gradual clearing as we go into Friday afternoon. Saturday looks mostly dry. Watching a disturbance to our south across the Carolinas, that may kind of spring some moisture northward. Definitely some cloud cover into the day on Sunday. Not completely sold on that rain yet, but the tropics beginning to heat up as we've been mentioning. National Hurricane Center monitoring those two areas. Those are going to likely become two of the next named tropical systems in the Atlantic. Sun and clouds today, humid with that late isolated shower and storm. An isolated shower overnight, otherwise it's another muggy night with some patchy fog early Thursday, and then watching that threat for some isolated severe storms late in the day through the early evening hours. We have that yellow alert in play there, lingering showers into Friday morning. Otherwise we rebound around 81 by the afternoon, and then a lot of clouds over the weekend. Again, could see a late shower Saturday into Sunday, and then keeping the cloud cover in play through Monday with highs in the mid-70s. Matt.
All right, thank you, Chris. Small town of Little Creek is addressing ongoing speeding issues off of Route 1, and neighbors say it's been a problem for years. Recent toll hikes on Delaware highways have apparently made it worse. DelDOT says an all-way stop is going in at South Little Creek Road and Bayside Drive this fall. And while the mayor says an all-way stop may help, he believes a more long-term fix is needed to put an end to speeding.
The all-way stop, will be a help, but I do think we need to prioritize speed cameras. Speed cameras will be there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They don't take a break.
Strauss says he has talked with state officials in the governor's office since May, and he's hoping that when the legislative session resumes in January, officials will prioritize solutions, including the installation of those speed cameras.
And the time is now 6:52, and we are going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And today's coastal pet is enjoying a fun ride. That's Gracie. And you can see from the big smile on her face, she is loving the trip through the car wash. Gracie and her newly clean car, they were submitted to us by Jenny in Ocean City.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva, so send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
Scan the QR code at the top to get your friends to Coast TV News, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
It is 6:55, and it's time for the things you need to know before you go. Lewis police say 30-year-old Alexander Guard of Maryland is facing 11 gun and ammunition charges. This is after police say his truck was found stuck on the beach on Tuesday morning with guns, other weapons, and hundreds of rounds of ammo. Police say Guard is homeless and had reported his truck stolen. It's still not clear if Guard drove the truck on the beach or if it was, in fact, stolen. And the time is now 6:56, and we are going to take another look at our fall forecast that's feeling like summertime.
Yeah, Chris, because we are expecting I would even go very warm, not just a very warm Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be about 10 degrees above where we should be for this time of year, upper 70s, and we could see a late isolated shower or storm, not a complete big threat later today. More of a threat is coming tomorrow, late afternoon into the evening. We have that yellow alert in play for the threat of some isolated severe storms with a damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles an hour. Some showers linger into Friday, late clearing. A lot of clouds into the weekend. Now we're watching the potential for some tropical influence early next week with a system developing to our south. So we'll have to keep close eye on that as the tropics are beginning to develop. But there are some fall-like temperatures that all the fall fans have been waiting for. Look at that. Highs in the upper 60s, lows in the 50s with partly cloudy skies.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11.
And for even more news and coverage you can count on, download our Coast TV News and weather apps. Have a great Wednesday morning, everybody.